This is a big breaking news coming in. The government will file an affidavit in the Supreme Court regarding black money. It is learned that the government will declare at least 3 names to the Supreme Court against whom tax authorities have initiated prosecution. The move flows from a detailed discussion between Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley and BJP President Amit Shah. Nearly 800 names have been provided to India by the European governments. Last week, the government had told the Apex Court that it could not disclose the names of those who have deposited black money in banks abroad, as this would jeopardize tax agreements with nations providing those names to India. We have Ashish Mehrishi joining us on the phone line on this additional affidavit that will be submitted by the government in the Supreme Court today. Ashish, on what basis has the government zeroed in on these 3 names?
Well, in fact, if you see, Aviral, there have been allegations against the government in the past that the government, like the UPA government, is not willing to declare the names. But now, according to the contract, according to the treaty that we have signed, that India has signed with the Swizz authorities as well as the tax haven, the cases that have reached the level of at least prosecution, those go to the courts. And once you reach the level of prosecution, obviously the names become public. So out of 628 names that have been provided to Indian authorities, which were actually, earlier it was stolen data, and now it has been authenticated by the Swiss authorities. Okay. Now, out of that 628 names, 1/3 are NRIs. So they will obviously escape the tax debt of India. But at least 1/3 against whom investigation is happening. Out of those 2/3, at least 3 names against whom prosecution is already started by the Indian authorities is actually going to be referred to. The affidavit is going to name those 3 individuals, and this is going to be very, very important, because at least now the list that has been provided earlier, the names will start tumbling out of that list, because that has been kept very, very secret in the past.
Right, and we understand that these names are going to be submitted to the Supreme Court. They are going to remain confidential?
Supreme Court, once it reaches the level of prosecution, because affidavit is usually filed in a sealed affidavit, but then usually, once it reaches the level of prosecution, the documents are public. So obviously those names will sooner or later come out.
All right, Ashish, thanks very much for that update. A very crucial hearing in the Supreme Court. The government is going to be filing that additional affidavit today and is going to reveal to the Supreme Court the names of 3 individuals against whom investigations have already begun.